Okay, let's quickly have a look at the basics of trigonometry. We are going to work with right angled triangles, so let's start with this up here. There's a right angled triangle, and let's say this is going to be our angle theta. To determine sine, cos and tan, I have a little rhyme that helps, which is oh hell. Another whoopsie-daisy hour of algebra, which now translates into OH, AH and OA. Now let me explain what I mean by that. The side opposite my angle is going to be O, which is opposite. The side next to my angle is going to be adjacent, and the side opposite my right angle is going to be my hypotenuse. So that's where it comes from. O hell sine, another hour adjacent over hypotenuse. So O hell, there we go, sine. Adjacent over another hour is going to be cos, and then of algebra is opposite over adjacent. Right, this we can also do when we have our Cartesian plane. Our vertical will be our y, our horizontal will be our x, and our hypotenuse is going to be r, and it's going to work exactly the same. If this is theta, sine is still going to be hell, meaning opposite over, so it's opposite over hypotenuse, so it's going to be y over r. Cos is going to be adjacent over hypotenuse, so it's going to be x over r, theta, sorry. And then tan is also going to be opposite over adjacent, which is going to be y over x. If you know this little rhyme, you will be fine. Just remember that the side opposite your angle is going to be opposite, next to it is going to be adjacent, and the side opposite my right angle is going to be my hypotenuse. Okay, what you also need to know is is your reciprocals, meaning, let's look, sine theta, which we said is oh hell. Now cosec is the reciprocal of sine, so it's now going to be h over o, hypotenuse over opposite, and not opposite over hypotenuse. Now we get sec, oh my goodness, hang on, sorry, cos theta we know is another hour, meaning adjacent over hypotenuse. Now sec is just the opposite of that, the reciprocal, which is now going to be hypotenuse over adjacent. So the last one is tan theta, and that is going to be of algebra, which means opposite over adjacent, which now means that cot theta is going to be the reciprocal of tan, which is going to be adjacent over my opposite. These are very important to know. You need to know them all by heart. Alright, we are going to do a few or one example out of a past paper. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, I'm going to make this a little bit smaller and fit it in there. Alright, we have two triangles here, and they give us the lengths of each. You can read that. You can pause the video and read this all. Okay, I'm just going to redraw these triangles because it's going to be much easier for us to read it like that. This is going to be P, Q, r, that is theta. This side is 26, this side is 24 and 10, and there is our right angle. Okay, the other triangle looks a little bit different. There's my right angle there. This is S R Q, and QS is 8, that is 6, and that is 10. So that will make it much easier for us to do the sums now. So tan P, I'm going to look at this triangle there. What angle I'm talking about? P. So this is going to be my angle that I'm using now. Let's say tan, if you remember, it is going to be, oh hell, another hour of algebra. Now let's quickly start. There's our angle. What is opposite it? There's opposite. What is adjacent next to it? And what is my hypotenuse? There we go. So it's going to be O, which is 10, over adjacent, which is 24, and simplified that will be 5 over 12. That is quite easy. Now let's look at sine SQR. SQR there. This is our angle that we are going to work with now. So I'm going to take yellow. It's much easier to see. So opposite that is there. Adjacent to it is here we go. And remember, the angle opposite my right angle is going to be my hypotenuse. So what do I know about sine? Let me just write that. SQR. Sine is OHL, meaning opposite over hypotenuse, which is going to be 6 over 10, which is going to be 3 over 5. Then we're going to go to cos theta. Okay, there is our theta in this case. I'm going to mark that. There's our theta, which means our adjacent and opposite is going to change now to something totally different. So let's have a look. There's my theta. What is opposite it? That's my 24. What is adjacent to it is my 10, and 26 is still my hypotenuse. What do I know about cos? It's another hour, which means it is adjacent, that is 10 over 24, which will give me 5 over 12. Alright, I hope that helps you. Let's do the last one. This is now going to be sec SRQ, which is going to be SRQ. So we are going to look at SRQ. We are going to look at that angle. So opposite that angle is going to be 8. Adjacent is going to be 6 because it's just next to it. And my hypotenuse is opposite my right angle. There we go. Now remember, sec is the reciprocal of cos. Now let's quickly write what cos is. Cos SRQ would be adjacent over hypotenuse, which will be 6 over 10. But what do we know about sec? It's going to be the opposite, so it's going to be the reciprocal, so it's going to be 10 over 6, which will be 5 over 3. Now our last one we want to do is, without using a calculator, we have to determine the value of that. Do not even panic slightly. Let's quickly have a look. So it's going to be, I just want to take that away. Just give me a sec. Alright. So it says there, cot theta, and it's divided by, I'm just going to write divide like that, divided by cosec QRS. So it's that angle there and this angle. So let's quickly do our opposite, or our whole opposite and adjacent. That's going to be opposite, that's going to be adjacent, this is going to be hypotenuse, this is going to be adjacent, this is opposite, and that is going to be my hypotenuse. What do I know about cot? That is the reciprocal of tan. So I now know that cot theta, I'm going to write it down here, cot theta is going to be the reciprocal of tan. So let's quickly see, what is tan theta? Tan theta is opposite over adjacent, so cot is going to be adjacent over opposite. So let's write that, adjacent over opposite, which is going to be 10 over, oh my goodness, yeah, adjacent is going to be 10 over 24. Let me just make sure, yeah, that is going to be 24 over 10, right? So it's going to be 10 over 24, and that is going to be divided by cosec. So let's see what cosec is going to be. Cosec is going to be the reciprocal of sine. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse, so cosec is going to be hypotenuse over opposite. Now let's see, hypotenuse is oh my goodness, is going to be 26, and that's going to be over, I'm making a mistake now, oh my goodness, it's QRS, shame, bit slow, there we go. So cosec is going to be hypotenuse, which is 10, that 10 over 8, because that's opposite. Now we have a divide there, so it's going to be 10 over 24 multiply by 8 over 10, because we change, which is going to cancel out. It's going to be 8 over 24. And if I simplify it, it's going to be a third. Alright, I hope that helps. Let me know if you've got any more questions.